hopes revived after a great road trip. 4.5 games behind Detroit, 2 games behind the White Sox. Twins ready to take on the Orioles and maybe pick up some ground in the Central Division. Dick Bramer, welcome back. Burt Blyleven, you lost your right to a microphone.
No, I leave and I cannot have a mic in my return.
Well, at the beginning of the year, remember the debate was, what are the Twins going to do with these 4 outfielders when there are only 3 outfield spots? Well, the Twins found out with Justin Morneau out that those 4 bats came in handy.
Yeah, give me that mic. You know what? When you look at the Minnesota Twins on this last road trip, 2-2 in Texas and then sweeping the Kansas City Royals, it was the outfielders that really took charge. Denard Span, 400 on that road trip. Carlos Gomez, 348. How's it feel without a mic? Dalman Young, a couple home runs, 8 RBIs, and what a series in Kansas City for Michael Kadire. Unbelievable. 2 home runs in 1 inning. I didn't even give up 2 home runs to the same guy in 1 inning. Go ahead.
My turn. Twins are welcoming back Justin Morneau into the lineup, though, today. Morneau took part in some pregame hitting activity, pronounced himself ready to go, really anxious to get back into the lineup for the Minnesota Twins. Morneau only played 3 innings on the road trip. The Twins won 5 of the 7 games, so they'll welcome him back, and he's pretty anxious to get back into the lineup tonight.
The boys have been playing good, so it's hopefully I don't go in there and screw it up. But they'll let me hear about it if I do. But it's one of those things where if the team's struggling, it makes it a lot tougher. Obviously, anytime sitting there and watching is tough, but they went in Kansas City and played well, and hopefully I can just come in and help the roll keep going.
Well, yeah, who needs Justin Morneau, only leading the American League with 94 RBI? You want it back?
Go ahead.
Let's go to Scott Baker. Scott Baker on the mound. Hopefully Justin Morneau can drive in a lot of runs here for Baker tonight. We'll be back in a moment.
And it is a very welcome sight to see Justin Morneau run out to first base with Michael Kadire in his more conventional position out in right field. So the Twins, who weathered the storm pretty well, I'd say. Morneau left the ball club. The Twins won 5 of the 7 games. And now he's ready to go. Here's the Menards batting order for the Orioles. Brian Roberts having a great month of August. Cesar Izturis hitting second. Luke Scott, Nick Markakis, Nolan Reimold, Matt Wieters, Melvin Mora, Michael Aubrey, and Felix Piet.
And let's take a look at the scouting report on Scott Baker, making his 25th start of the year. And one thing I have noticed, he has made some adjustments in his pitching when he's out there. He'll try to adjust to the fastball. He's been doing a better job of keeping the ball down, changing speeds extremely well. Over his last 8 starts, 5-0, making just his 5th career start against the Orioles. He is 2-0 lifetime against the Orioles, both of the wins coming in Baltimore. And for Scott Baker right here, you mentioned Brian Roberts already having a great month. These are the 2 guys, Roberts and Izturis. Keep them off the bases because they are the table setters for the Orioles.
And this Baltimore lineup, even though the Orioles are in last place by 7 games in their division, it's a Baltimore lineup that has some hitters right now swinging the bats very well. So as this was a dangerous series for the Chicago White Sox, and the Orioles took 2 out of 3 from Chicago, it's kind of a dangerous series for the Twins as well. Cabrera to his left. Throws out Roberts, 1 away. Northland Ford defense for the Twins with the outfield intact. Span, Gomez, and Kadire. The infield intact except for Joe Crede. Not in the lineup again tonight. Harris, Cabrera, Casilla, and Morneau, and Joe Mauer back behind the plate.
A good first out right there on 2 pitches, and that's what Baker needs to do. Get some quick outs so he can get late into the ball game.
Here is Izturis, and he takes outside a ball. Izturis anchoring the shortstop position, had to take a bit of a break with a bout of appendicitis. Back in the lineup, 2-0.
Yeah, Izturis, 29 years old in his first season with the Orioles. Came up with the Blue Jays back in 2001. Brave Tremblay, the manager for the Orioles in his 3rd season.
Two and 1. The Baltimore shortstop. 3-1 with Luke Scott on deck.
Izturis, a slap type hitter, not a lot of home runs. 2 on the year. See the defense of the Twins behind Baker.
3-2. Mentioned the Orioles beat the White Sox 2-1 in Chicago. It was Baltimore's first series win since the All-Star break. And typically about this time of the year, the Orioles have really crumbled, and they hope to have a stronger finish this year with a rebuilt roster. Check swing, and ball 4. Izturis will take first base.
Yeah, Baker coming into this ball game 4th in the American League and fewest walks per 9 innings. Carl Pavano just ahead of him. Baker averaging 1.8 walks per 9.
Here's the designated hitter, Luke Scott.
Rick Anderson, the pitching coach for the Twins.
I think it's gotten to the point, Bert, where with Baker stabilizing the rotation somewhat, this is one of those spots in the rotation where Rick Anderson is pretty certain of what he's going to get. Now, less so tomorrow when you've got a rookie making his major league debut. Weren't sure what he was going to get from Brian Dunsing, but the Twins hope that they can count on Baker to give them a representative start the rest of the way this year.
Yeah, he's almost had 2 seasons. Baker's first 9 starts, he was 6-2.
There's Armando Gabino, who's going to make his major league debut tomorrow.
So welcome to him. Baker 2-6 with a 6.32 ERA, but over his last 15 starts, he's 9-1 with a 3.66 ERA.
1-1.
Anderson, you see the pitch, the little clicker right there, keeping the pitch count of Baker. Baker, 27 years old. He's in his 5th season with the Twins. looking for a career high 12 wins. Last year, a career high 11 wins for the Twins.
And a fastball covers the inside corner.
Baker has all 4 pitches. He has a fastball. That was that 4-seam fastball, the last one to Scott, inner half of the plate. Then he'll turn that ball over, a 2-seam fastball, mix in a slider, curveball, and a very good circle changeup.
One and two to Scott. Runner goes, and the pitch lifted to right field. Kadire with a long run to the corner. Makes the catch. A towering fly to the corner. And with the runner Asturis taking off, out number 2. And Asturis retreats to the bag.
Well, Baker last start here came on August 14th against the Indians, and what a start it was. His second career shutout, 2-hit shutout, and the Twins gave him plenty of support in that ball game. He beat the Indians 11-0. In his last start last Wednesday in Texas, he ended up getting the win in a 5-4 win over the Rangers. He went 5 1/3 inning.
And now Nick Markakis. Much of Baltimore's hopes in their rebuilding process center around this young man who might be the best player in the league most fans have never heard of.
Well, he's a good player. 4th season with the Orioles. Surprised he has not made an all-star team or game yet. Very steady numbers for Nick Markakis.
And you can look at the offensive numbers. He's considered to be a very good defensive outfielder. 1 strike. And just outside, 1-1. Baker trying to pitch around the 1-out walk. That put Asturis on first base.
Not a lot of at-bats for these Orioles against Baker. Markakis is 3 for 9 with a home run against Scott Baker. And Asturis. Orioles don't run much. They have 65 stolen bases. They've been caught 33 times, but Roberts and Asturis combined have 37 of the 65 stolen bases.
One and one to Markakis. Asturis goes. Bauer's throw. Right there. Asturis tagged himself out. Nice pickup at second by Cabrera on the one-hop throw, and the inning ends. First against the Orioles, Scott Baker with a hitless, scoreless first inning. And the Bernard batting order for the Minnesota Twins. Denard Span leading off. A very good month of August. Once his inner ear situation stabilized, he's been one of Minnesota's better hitters. Then Orlando Cabrera, Joe Mauer, Justin Morneau, Jason Kubel, Michael Kadire, Brendan Harris, Carlos Gomez, and Alexi Casilla.
And that lineup facing Chris Tillman for the first time in his young career, making just his 6th major league start. He was part of that Eric Bedard trade when Eric Bedard was traded over to the Seattle Mariners. And one thing, in his first 5 starts, he's given up 9 home runs. So that's one thing that they're going to try to keep down. He gave up 3 home runs in his last start, all on first pitch fastballs.
Inside to Span.
And he's got a good fastball, good moving fastball.
Span with the average over 300. A couple of games for the Twins in Baltimore a long time ago. Weather was a big issue. The Twins lost both of them. Haven't seen the Orioles since, and now Span takes a strike.
Yeah, that's what's. I don't like the schedule at all. You know, I mean, here we play the Orioles just 5 times. We played the Milwaukee Brewers more than we played the Baltimore Orioles in our own league.
Span with a liner to right, and he gets his homestand started on the right foot after a good road trip. Northland Ford defense for the Orioles. And a lot of youth in the outfield. Reimold in left, PA in center, Markakis in right. The veteran Mora at third, Isturis and Roberts up the middle, Michael Aubrey at first. And Matt Wieters, already considered to be the top young catcher. We can't call Joe Mauer a young catcher anymore, can we? Because Wieters is considered the best young catcher in the game right now.
I'm sure Wieters is going to be watching Joe very closely over the next 3 ball games.
Span goes on the first pitch, and Cabrera flares it foul.
You know, one thing we have seen since Cabrera has been put into that number 2 hole via the trade, we've seen this a lot, the little hit and run that Ron Gardenhire will put on. Span with good speed, of course, 19 stolen bases, but Cabrera, very good handler of the bat. So a little hit and run put on, and Cabrera fouled it off. Get the offense moving quickly. Tillman at 6'5", just 21 years old. He was signed by the Mariners in 2006. Out of my old neck of the woods, Southern California. Born in Anaheim, California. Span getting back. Went to Fountain Valley High School in Southern California.
Span 19 for 26. It's not just the numbers. You like to look at stolen base success rate. The Twins is okay, about 75%. Steal rate.
There's a good curveball right there. Tillman has a curveball, slider, and a split finger he'll use as a changeup. But that fastball has been clocked in the mid-90s, about 94, 95 at times.
2 strikes to Cabrera. High chopper over the mound. Out there, and out there, a double play started niftily by Isturis, who had to slam on the brakes and reach the bag with his foot.
Boy, nice defensive play with both middle infielders going after this ball. It was Isturis that kind of cut in front of Roberts, and then Roberts, of course, right there too, but Roberts couldn't get to the bag, so Isturis putting that right foot on the bag and then throwing over to first. Or, like you said, a very nifty double play.
So 2 down, and now Mauer will hit. And he takes down and away, ball 1. Mauer, as he came to the plate, stood shoulder to shoulder next to Wieters, and they're 2 very large human beings. Mauer at about 6'5", Wieters the same size. 2-0. Mauer with a 378 average coming into play today. Ichiro at 359, and Ichiro's been scratched from the Mariners starting lineup tonight. He's got a bad ankle or calf. 2-0. And a strike on the inside corner.
Well, there's the leaders right there. Joe Mauer with a 378 batting average. Jason Bartlett hanging in there at 340. Miguel Cabrera with the Tigers having a great year, and Derek Jeter having a solid year again for the Yankees.
High fly to center. Pierre retreating at the wall. He makes the catch. He did what you need to do here. He never took his eye off the ball and made the catch.
Right field, which he did tell me will be a much easier transition to make, going back out to right field, which he knows so well, as opposed to coming in to play first base. And he did meet with a lot of reporters this afternoon before batting practice, and everybody wanted to know about hitting 2 home runs in the 7th inning yesterday. Kadire really wanted to deflect all praise and talk about the Twins' inning as a whole and scoring 8 runs in the 7th. And Dick and Bert, I bet we had to ask him 4 or 5 different questions before he would finally admit that it was a good feeling, it was a cool moment. He said it was really nice. There were so many Minnesota fans there. Kind of helped him appreciate the feat a little bit more.
Boy, what a feat it was. First Twin ever to do that.
Snap bat and a roller to Morneau.
Take that, Bat.
Markakis will be retired. Well, as historic as the second home run was, I think what Michael was trying to say is, the first one was the most important one. The Twins had a 1-0 lead. Royals just tied it up. And on the first pitch of the 7th inning, he clubbed the home run that gave the Twins a lead for good. Twins are in a pennant race, and that was the swing that seemed to turn the game back around. 1 down, and here's Nolan Raimo. Of course, you missed it all. You were in Pittsburgh, and we want to hear about your wonderful weekend.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, we had a great time. We had a great reunion. 1979, can't believe it was 30 years ago. The most important thing, Chuck Tanner, our manager, was there. A lot of players. Had a great time. A lot of reminiscing. We got a lot better over the 30 years. Unbelievable.
But how can that be when you won the World Series 30 years ago?
Yeah, but our stats, we padded our stats a little bit better. We actually swept the Baltimore Orioles in that series. Yeah,
it didn't go 7 games?
It didn't go down to Game 7. No, we swept them. We beat them, I think, 100-2 in the first game.
And you got a bye in the playoffs,
Bill Matlock
right?
got 12 hits in that ball game. Dave Parker hit 4 home runs. No, it was fun. We had a great time. Great time to reminisce, and we are still family. We are family. That was our motto back then, and we are still family.
Was Sister Sledge there, the music group?
No, not this time around.
And Morneau calls off Baker.
Actually, you know who was there on Saturday night? Casey and the Sunshine.
Is that right?
Yep.
Well, look at tonight's Guess the Stance
I got to meet him. Nice man.
Who is this upcoming Major League player? And you can text who you think the batting stance guy is imitating to short code 234-234. And we'll have the answer for you in the Quest Twins Live postgame show.
How come that guy never strikes out? He always makes contact.
Well, next year it's going to be.
I'll guess when the guy strikes out a lot.
Next year it's going to be Guess the delivery guy.
Yeah, I like that.
1 strike to Wieters. Very highly regarded. People who saw him before the draft, people who've seen him professionally, think he's going to be, while he was described as Joe Mauer with power before Joe got power.
Yeah, number 1 pick by the Orioles in 2007 out of Georgia Tech. Has had some great players play Major League Baseball out of that university. Called up on May 29th, started the season in AAA. Wieters just 23 years old, a switch hitter, as a left-handed hitter, hitting .289 and .227 from the right side of the plate.
And Baker puts him away and finishes off a 1-2-3 second inning. Rock formation overlooking the city of Red Wing on the Mississippi River. It's an old limestone quarry with a lot of rock climbing routes and different levels of difficulty, and a walking trail to the top of Barnes Bluff. And I've got a wonderful present here from Charlie Leonard, who has a bookstore called The Bookcase. Remember, we were talking about, somebody ought to put out a book to explain why towns are named what they're named and all that. And now there is such a book, and he sent it to me in Red Wing. This is going to be so fascinating for you.
Why was Red Wing called Red Wing?
There you go. See, that's the question I was waiting for. I'll have the answer here after this first pitch to Justin Morneau. It's the county seat and is named for a succession of leaders on the Medwakaton Dakota Indian band who resided on the west shore of Lake Pepin, where the city now stands. The name comes from the red dye swan's wing the men carried.
Oh, boy. That's exciting. Ron Coomer, I know you're down there. Let's go down to Ron Coomer.
Excuse me, I was sleeping. I apologize. Sorry, guys. Watching Justin come up the bat for the first time, I had an issue when I played in L.A. with TMJ with my jaw, where your jaw is out of a line. And what happens is you get bad headaches, dizziness. I could take batting practice once I got in the game and your front foot pounds out there and you go to game speed and the jarring of your head. It was very tough to pick up the baseball. It'll be interesting tonight to see how Justin feels at game speed, because you cannot emulate game speed, I don't care what you do, in practice.
Well, it's got to be so dangerous, too. I mean, here's Justin up at the plate, and hopefully that all the dizziness is gone. We saw it a little bit from Denard Span where, you have to pick up that ball that's coming in at 95 miles an hour. Ron, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm just watching him just to kind of get a feel for what he's doing. The one thing we'll watch is his front foot, his stride, to see if he's trying to be a little easier with it, and just see if he's just trying to pick up the baseball. Right there, they were afraid of him, didn't throw him a strike, and he gets a walk, and we'll check it out next step at.
But, Ron, let me ask you this. He saw 6 pitches in that at-bat. You miss a week, roughly a week for any reason. It's got to help just to be able to stand in there and look at some pitches, isn't it?
Oh, without question, Dick. And the one thing, in talking earlier today with him and with Joe Vavra, you get 4 or 5 days off in August. if he is healthy and he gets his swing back here in the next, probably today, oh my, fresh hands and fresh body in August, it could be dangerous.
Let's hope so.
Here's Jason Kubel. Breaking ball over for a strike. You look at the way this Twins lineup is constructed now. You've got Span, a 300 hitter, Cabrera, who typically hits 15, 20 points below that, Mauer, who may threaten 400, Morneau right around 300, Kubel over 300. Strike two, Kadire with a lot of power suddenly over the last week or so.
Yeah, two good curveballs right there from Tillman to Kubel.
So a lineup that could be very, very productive here if everybody stays healthy. Two strikes to Kubel. 1 and 2. Of course, the middle of the lineup is intact now. Mauer, Morneau, Kubel, and Kadire, all with 20 or more home runs. 1 and 2. Busted bat and a bouncer. Morneau retired, and another Oriole double play. So the Twins have gotten their leadoff man on twice, and each time Tillman's followed it up with a double play ball. You can submit a question or comment to us online at carsoup.com/baseball. Crystal Franzak from Champlin Park wondering how have rookie starters fared against the Twins this year. We'll show you the first pitch to Michael Kadire, and then we'll answer the question.
You know, I've always said it, you see somebody for the first time, I think the pitcher always has the advantage. And that's really one thing that has happened so far to the opposing pitchers. They've had the advantage over the Twins. 10 wins, 6 losses in the 16 different pitchers that they have faced. Now a high ERA, but I think if you make your pitches, Twins have only seen him on video, Tillman. So you watch, you see how he reacts.
The Twins will be getting their first look at Brian Matuz, the Oriole starter tomorrow, and everybody will be getting their first look at Armando Gabino. Somebody's got to win tomorrow. Pitcher should have the advantage, you say, but
it'll be the team that scores the most runs that'll win.
Okay. All right.
Crystal, thank you very much for that question.
Have we recorded that? Because we're going to play that back and see if you're right tomorrow. That one cracked his back. And Izturis to his left picks it up. And even though the Twins have a single and a walk, Tillman's faced the minimum through 2.
playing the best ball, but everybody's trying to catch Detroit, and they don't want to run away with it. Chicago's holding in there. The Twins are holding in there. And Kansas City, recycle.
Melvin Morrow will lead off the third against Scott Baker. There's a fly ball to right. Looks harmless enough. Kadire hardly has to move. You think about it, the Twins have not played well in the second half. They've pitched at times terribly, and they've lost one half game to the team they've been chasing all year long, the Tigers.
Well, everybody has pitching problems. You know, offensively, yeah, the Twins are third in the American League in hitting, but it's the pitching, and that's what that man right there wants down the stretch. Good, consistent starting pitching. There's Kevin Slowey without that little cast on.
And I suppose the point could be made that the reason the Tigers have been in first place with a share of it since May 10th is they've had the best starting pitching. Not great, but the best. White Sox trying to limp in with Jose Contreras. He was shelled early today in Fenway Park. Sliced foul. The Twins have obviously spent most of the last 2 weeks trying to patch some holes in their rotation. And that's why starts by Baker tonight are so important, because there are some moving parts in the Twins rotation right now, and they really need to be able to count on Baker down the stretch. Slap foul.
Baker just needs to continue what he has been doing. Again, Baker 5-0 over his last 8 starts. The only time he lost, you have to go back, the last time he lost was July 7th here against the Yankees.
And up the middle, a base hit. First Oriole hit. And it comes with 1 out here in the third inning.
Aubrey just getting called up from AAA. He was traded over from the Indians to the Orioles for a player named later back in the middle of June.
There's Felix P.A. Tremblay is trying to keep things afloat here in the second half, even though the Orioles have gotten much younger over the course of the season. PA getting a chance to play, and he's really turned it on here over the last 4 weeks or so.
Well, a lot of young kids for the Orioles. PA just 24 years old. Came over from the Cub organization.
Hit for the cycle a few weeks ago, and he really hasn't stopped hitting since. 1 strike. Fastball, and it's 0-2. PA hitting 9th. Kind of been an extra outfielder for the Orioles this year. That's to left center. And Span glides over to make the catch. Good running catch. A good start in his pursuit to the ball by the Twins left fielder.
Well, that's one thing the Twins, you know, they take a lot of pride in their defense, but when you have Gomez in center and either Span in right or left, I mean, right here, this ball looked right off the bat. It might be trouble, but Span, that cat-like instincts, able to just jump and catch that ball so quickly. Jerry White right there. The outfield instructor will a lot of times move the outfielders depending on who's on the mound and what that hitter might be trying to do.
Here's Brian Roberts. Hit the ball hard to the glove side of Cabreras. Went to his left to make a nice fielding play and threw him out. Roberts has 47 doubles on the season. He has a chance to get to the 60 doubles mark, which is something that hasn't been done for a long, long time. Got to go back to 1936 when 2 Hall of Famers did it. Joe Medwick and Charlie Gehringer. Gehringer hit 60, Medwick hit 64, and Roberts on a pace to hit right around 60 doubles in one season. He hopes to, Twins hope he doesn't get one in this 3-game series. Here's one hit to right center field. A long way, and it's a Bounder off the wall, and Roberts will stop at second with a double, and coming in to score is Aubrey. So there's number 48. Sorry I brought it up.
An RBI double right there for Roberts. He picks up his 60th RBI. A breaking ball stayed back nicely, and he just able to split the gap between Kadire and Gomez. Kind of hoping that ball would be over about 5 or 6 feet, then Aubrey would have to stay at third base, but instead the ball stayed in the ballpark, allowed the run to score.
So 1-0 Baltimore, and now here's Cesar Esteras. Esteras' walk was thrown out trying to steal in the first inning, and he flips it over the Twins dugout. 1 strike. One strike to Esteras. And now a ball. Twins got done playing the Royals, and Billy Butler with 41 doubles on the season, but now Roberts leads off second with his 48th. Markakis also has 39 doubles. Just missed the inside corner, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, tried that curveball right there, and Sturris taking it for a ball.
.40 pitches on the night for Baker. Good fastball for a swinging strike. 2-2.
Yeah, that fastball clocked at 92 right there.
Did you feel, and of course you logged a lot more innings typically than Baker or most pitchers these days, that your velocity suffered in the final weeks of the season?
Oh, it always picked up. I always thought if I get through June and July, the hot months, then I would feel so much better in September. It's one thing I really worked on, is that August and September is when I really wanted to find that second wind, if not the third or the fourth.
Pavano not known for his velocity, but changing speeds and his location. He pitched awfully well again yesterday for the Twins in a very important ball game. 2-2 to Esteras. Baker trying to strand Roberts at second base. Fly ball right field, and Kadire lopes after it and ends the inning. Couple of hits in the first run of the game to the Orioles in third. placid scene, Lake Minnetonka. Your ship has come in, or it's coming in.
Is that a ship?
It's a boat.
Oh.
Brendan Harris will lead off the third. And a strike at the knees. Twins have gotten their leadoff man on in each of the first 2 innings, but Tillman's done a nice job getting ground ball double plays immediately afterward. And now 0-2 to Brendan Harris. In for Joe Creedy, who didn't do much today. His back still giving him some issues.
Hello, young man. He's ready for a foul ball.
One and two.
Talking to Buck Martinez before the ball game about Tillman, he said that of all the pitchers that have made their debut this year, and Tillman one of 6, that they really feel this young man right here could be a #1 starter.
Moving to the right field corner, a long run for Markakis. He's got it covered, 1 away. And let's have a Dodge game break and go to Marty Gelder.
All right, Dick and Bert, it's an important series for the White Sox visiting Boston. White Sox had an early 4-1 lead, but the Red Sox came back with 6 runs in the bottom of the third. Mike Lowell here with the 3-run home run, and right now it's 8-4. The Red Sox lead the White Sox.
Thank you, Marty. Contreras taken out after 2 2/3 innings. And the White Sox have some major pitching issues. They've tried to patch holes with first Bartolo Colon, Freddie Garcia, Jose Contreras. And they're not sure when or even if Jake Peavy's going to be able to help them this year.
Peavy's supposed to be making his 3rd rehab start here tonight. But like Ozzie Guillen said, they're not counting on him. So guys like Contreras have to step up. Contreras, either he's real good or he's real bad.
And the problem
Nothing
is
in between.
You can't really survive. The Twins know all about this. You can't survive too many starts. Here's a high fly to left. Gomez got it off the end of the bat, and he's retired on a fly ball. You can't survive too many short starts like that. Your bullpen gets wiped out, and the White Sox tonight are starting maybe the most difficult road trip of the year. They've got 4 games in Boston, 3 in New York, 3 here, and then a makeup game at Wrigley Field. So they need longer than normal starts, not shorter than normal starts.
But the Twins have been through that. The Tigers have been. Everybody's been through that.
Here's Casilla with 2 gone in the 3rd. And he fouls it back.
I think the biggest thing for the White Sox is Mark Burley is not pitching. Ever since he pitched that perfect game, he's been really struggling.
See, the Tigers are out on the West Coast taking on the Angels. Then they've got a home series with the Rays, home with Cleveland. That's what makes this homestand so important for the Twins, Bert. It's not just who they're playing, and if the Twins don't play well, it doesn't matter. But if they have that good homestand they've been waiting for, the teams above them really have some tough sledding in the next week and a half.
Right.
Here's Casilla dumping a base hit into left. So Casilla with the second Twins hit.
Yeah, Tillman's been working in that fastball and then the breaking ball. That's really the first one I've seen that he's left up a little bit. A nice at-bat right here for Casilla. See the curveball. Kind of went right down, kept his eye on the ball, and made good contact taking it the other way. Twins get their 2nd hit of the ball game.
Span got the first. He'll hit here with Casilla aboard in a potential stealing situation. Twins have heard of Wieters and his reputation.
Tillman at 6'5", holding the ball. And Casilla 8 for 8 in stolen base attempts.
Just off the plate, ball 1. Ooh. Backhanded, or at least deflected by Wieters.
Yeah, nice little backhanded play. Ball down and in. He wanted it down and away.
So 2-0 to Span. With Cabrera on deck.
This is where a young pitcher, 21 years old, sometimes you worry more about that base runner at first and you forget about throwing strikes. This is something that Tillman will learn. With 2 outs, your goal is to get the hitter out at home plate, not worry about if Casillas going to steal or not.
And Wieters will go to the mound.
I learned that watching Ricky Henderson. You know, go ahead and steal second and third. And my goodness, he's going to steal it anyway. And my goal with 2 outs is to get the hitter out. Sacrifice fly. I'm out of the inning with Henderson at third. Good. He stole 2 bases. Big deal. But that's something that young pitchers will learn.
Well, I'm just wondering about this situation, though. I mean, pitch outs and throwovers are often called from the bench. You got to. At the major league level, an inexperienced catcher, an inexperienced pitcher. I wonder how much of this might be called from the Baltimore dugout. Span draws a walk, and Casillas will end up at second base anyway. So first and second with 2 away. Tomorrow night features the popular all-you-can-eat seats. $34 buys you an upper club ticket and all the ballpark fare you can handle: hot dogs, nachos, peanuts, pretzels, popcorn, pop, water. Purchase tickets, call 800-33-TWINS or log on to twinsbaseball.com. How about today? They planted home plate and the pitching rubber at Target Field. Ball 1 to Cabrera. Bounced into a double play his first time up. Ball, a check swing. 1-1. Here's home plate.
Just not big enough.
I think that would surprise a lot of people that the pitching rubber is actually a long rectangle like that and has more depth to it. You tend to think of it as being only what you see. And Cabrera flinches looking back at Paul Emmel, wondering why was that a strike?
Well, see, now Emmel might be an umpire that calls the pitch where it crosses the plate, not where Wieters catches it. Watch this pitch right here. That ball's low.
Yeah. So it's 1-2 to Cabrera. Tying run at second, 2 away. 2-2. Sod, the grass for Target Field, is on its way and will be laid later this week. We'll have more on that all week long. 2-2. Full count, and the runners will take off. And they said, something is considered boring. They say it's like watching grass grow. We've had Minnesotans go all the way out to the grass in Colorado to watch it and see what the field at Target Field is going to be covered with. Big pitch here, 3-2 to Cabrera with the runners going, and they are speedy runners to begin with.
How about a little extra base hit right here?
Poke foul.
Cabrera with 29 doubles on a year, 2 triples. Tillman coming off a start in his last start in Tampa Bay. He worked 6 innings, allowed 3 runs. Again, all solo home runs as he lost 3-0. Excuse me, 3-1.
Full count to Cabrera and a pop-up foul near the Oriole dugout and out of play. Well, the Orioles got their run in the top half of this inning on a 2-out hit. Now Cabrera fighting Tillman to deliver a 2-out hit to get the game tied. Look at Tillman, the rest of the Oriole rotation, a lot of their position players, and you're tempted to say, well, the Orioles finally got it. They finally figured out what they need to do to contend in their division. Build from within. Another pop up, another foul ball, another one out of play.
Oh, build within. I mean, they signed Brian Roberts to a 4-year contract earlier this year, and then they have to make good trades like they did maybe with Eric Bedard. Bedard's been nothing but problems for the Seattle Mariners, and then you get a youngster like this, or
Adam Jones.
Adam Jones, yep.
Building from within, I don't think necessarily means you have to draft those players.
Right.
You can pick them off from other people. Jones, one of the exciting young players in the game. Another 3-2 to Cabrera. And up and in, and he popped it straight up in the air. And Wieters, right in the batter's box, makes the catch. So Cabrera swung at what might have been ball 4, and Tillman gets out of the inning.
It's a 1-0 lead. Tillman so far, 47 pitches, have been able to get ahead of 7 of 11, where Scott Baker's been able to get strike 1 on 8 of 11.
Strike 1. Birthday wishes to Marilyn Burns, 80 today from Heron Lake. Named after a lake that once had a heron land on it.
Is that how they do it?
1-1 to Scott.
I won't even go there.
Scott, Markakis, and Reimold facing Scott Baker in the Baltimore 4. Off-speed pitch left up high, 2-1. Scott with a fly ball to right. And true to form, most of Scott Baker's outs here tonight have come on fly balls. Here's a high pop-up left side.
That's
Cabrera
up there.
behind Harris. Harris wanted no part of it. Cabrera with the catch, 1 away. Aflac trivia question. Ron Coomer did just fine in your absence.
Did he?
Might have gotten a little help from the truck from time to time, but
Well, Ron Coomer's down there. He can still help us.
who was the first player to have 5 hits in a postseason game?
Ron Coomer, help!
It wasn't you?
Was it you?
I'm only hitting 500 in the playoffs.
Oh,
Well, 5 hits. There must be a reason we're having this question tonight. Like it's a Twin or an Oriole. But if it were a Twin, we could have it any night. So I'm guessing it's an Oriole.
can we guess? Or should we let
Pretty much how we've gotten
Scott
through
S.
these. Yeah.
Or Steve S., Scott's brother.
2-0 to Markakis.
I'm going to say it's an Oriole.
Yeah, I am too. I'm going to say it's an Oriole.
And I'm going to say that he's in the ball game tonight. My guess. Not
What?
Cal Ripken. Not Justin Morneau.
What Oriole has been in the playoffs? Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs? Morneau to Baker, 2 down. And that'll bring up Reimel.
Let's do a little pitch by pitch to Scott Baker to Nick Markakis right here. You take a look and trying to work away, misses away with that 2-seamer, and then the fastball up, fell behind an account. Fastball challenged Markakis right there, and then the old breaking ball stayed down in the zone to get the 3-1 put out.
So 2 away in the 4th, and here's Reimel. Hit a pop up to Morneau near the mound, his first time up, swing and a miss. And on the outside corner, 0-2. Great inning for Baker. 1, 2, 3, 4 as it cut through the middle of the Baltimore lineup. With Morneau leaving the team in Texas. Lauer with a deep fly ball to center his first time up, and he takes ball 1. Lauer hitting at 377, but if this makes any sense, he's been in a rut. He's been hitting the ball too hard. His best hit balls have been caught for the last 3-4 games. Two and 0. Twins have gotten a couple of hits and a couple of walks, but haven't broken through against the Baltimore right-hander yet. Over the Twins dugout. 2-1.
Boy, Tillman at 6'5" does a good job of creating that good downward plane. Showing a pretty good breaking ball. He almost uses that curveball as a off-speed pitch. And an explosive type fastball.
Let's see how the Twins fare second time through the order here. He threw an awful lot of balls in the first 2 plate appearances. The second time through, he ended up walking Span. He had a 3-2 count with Cabrera, and Cabrera may have retired himself by swinging at a pitch up. And now it's 3-1 to Mauer. Now 3-2. Ron Gardenhire saying today that he's kind of reached an agreement with Mauer. You tell me when you need a night off. I'll keep putting your name in the lineup. And Joe said, yeah, I'll let you know. Three and 2 to Mauer. Knowing full well that a night off for Joe very likely is going to mean a game in the DH spot. Twins in a situation here where they have night games 3 in a row against the Orioles, a day off, a couple of night games against Texas. So Mauer's quote unquote day off might not come for a while. Redmond ready to go when called on. That's what I'm talking about. He's hitting the ball too hard, it seems. A liner to the shortstop, 1 away. Ron Coomer, what have you noticed about Chris Tillman?
Well, Tillman's one of those guys like Bert was just talking about. He likes to create tilt on his fastball and then pitch from his fastball up with his breaking pitch. As a hitter, the pitch you want to lay off of is this one. With the tilt of his fastball, if you swing at the high pitch, you think it's belt high, and it ends up being chest high by the time you swing at it. You've got to make him get the ball down with his fastball. More times than not, we saw Joe foul a fastball off. You don't see him swing that many high fastballs. He fouled one off that was chest high. You got to make him get the ball down, and if it's knee high, it's probably going to end up, if it looks knee high, it's going to end up thigh high, and those are the ones you're going to be able to hit real well.
Boy, it's easier said than done, isn't it, Ron? Because that ball that starts about belt high or a little bit above, that ball rises a little bit. I mean, that's where a hitter sees the whole ball, so of course you're going to react to that.
I agree, and that's the hard part. The one thing about the Orioles in years past, way back, you know, the Palmers and those guys, they pitched off that. They threw the high fastball and got that called. Nowadays, the belt is about as high a strike as you're going to get. But even though the ball looks like it's belt high, Bert, I've seen more guys tonight swing at the ball at least as high as their number, and they're not ready to hit that pitch.
1 and 2 to Morneau, and he takes outside. Morneau walked his first time up. I don't think he swung the bat. He swung at the first pitch here in this plate appearance and tapped it foul. 2 and 2. And a tapper to second. Roberts has it. Mauer, now Morneau retired, 2 down on the floor.
Well, see, that's that breaking ball that becomes a changeup, and that's exactly what Tillman did right there to Justin to create that ground ball out.
2 away, Kubel will hit. First our Aflac trivia question. I'm going to go Andy Etchebarren. It's an Oriole. Paul Blair, who played with
Yes, he did.
Andy Etchebarren. And Blair did it against the Twins in the first year of ALCS play.
That's been a while for the Baltimore Orioles to get the postseason.
Kubel takes down and in 2-0, and so many losing seasons, and Oriole fans accustomed to a high standard when it came to the on-field product, and it's been anything but that. They've been forced to watch veterans over the hill, unproductive prospects that didn't turn out.
Again, they're in such a tough division with the Yankees and the Red Sox, and now the Rays.
Popped up behind third. Mora into foul territory. Makes the catch. So Tillman with a nice job. He has his first 1-2-3 inning in the fourth. 2010 season packages are available in full season, half season, and 20-game plans with deposits just $100 a seat. Call 833-TWINS. Visit twinsbaseball.com for more information. A couple days, we're going to look down on that, and it's going to be bright emerald green grass.
Beautiful. Beautiful even without the grass.
Here's Wieters leading off the 5th against Scott Baker. Foul away, 1 strike. White Sox trying to come back on the Red Sox. It's 9-7 now going to the bottom of the 5th.
Santa Claus up there helping that young man.
Wieters waits, taps it foul, 2 strikes. Dave Engel, the former Twin, who's been coach and scout for a bunch of different organizations, said of Wieters he was ready a year ago to play up here. Just a great prospect, a great young man, got his head on his shoulders, and
I hope so.
Swing and a miss, and Baker, I think, has struck him out twice on 6 pitches.
And Baker picking up his 3rd strikeout. I always wondered why people say, well, he's got his head on his shoulders. Yeah. Where else would your head be? Kind of like breaking ball right there.
Kind of like your future's ahead of you, right? That doesn't make any sense. Of course it is. Well, you got to put the past behind you while you're at it. Here's Melvin Morrow.
Guess what it is?
Morrow with a fly ball to right, his first time up. A little bit high, ball 1.
Well, what the Orioles are doing, they're bringing in a lot of young kids, but then they're keeping a couple of the veterans. Melvin Morrow, one of those veterans in his 10th season with the Orioles. Came up with the Mets back in 1999. Always has been a great hitter. Career .280 hitter.
A few weeks ago, he got into a little spat with Dave Tremblay as the Orioles turned the page toward their future. Morrow saw his playing time cut, and he went to the media and expressed his displeasure, saying he wanted to be treated with respect. Dave Tremblay tried to throw a blanket over it, as a good manager does, and just went about his business. Played Morrow when he felt like it, didn't play it when he didn't play him when he didn't feel like it. 2-1. And now 2-2.
See, the only thing I have trouble with that with Morrow is that he should have talked to Tremblay personally rather than going through the media.
Right.
That's the only thing. You know, if I'm a manager, I want players like Morrow to come to me and say, I want more playing time. That just shows that they care.
2-2. Tomorrow. Baker has struck out 3 men in a row on swinging strikeouts. The Minnesota State Fair starts on the 27th. You can stop by the Fox Sports North Bia Sports Anchor booth, located at the corner of Cooper and Judson, for a chance to record a free sports update. Register to win prizes and more, and we hope to see you at the fair.
Well, Baker leading the staff in strikeouts, picking up his 4th strikeout of Melvin Morrow.
Here's Aubrey, singled with 1 out, scored on a Roberts double, and now he bounds it foul.
You know, one thing I've seen, again, from the last 4 or 5 starts from Baker is making the adjustment extremely well. There's that last fastball, just overpowers him. But he's keeping the ball down. I think that changeup has helped, the breaking ball. Like that pitch right there. Good pitch.
An observation that might be all wet, but let me throw this out there. He's getting swinging strikeouts now because the fastball's down around the knees. All those foul balls that he tend to give up because the pitch is up. Is it as simple as that?
Well, yeah, sometimes it is, but I think it seemed, and I mentioned it when he pitched that 2-hit shutout, he looked like he was in a great groove that night, and he's kind of taken that groove into last start against the Rangers, and you know, that's a good hitting ball club. And he did give up 4 runs in 5 in the 3rd innings, but he did get the win. And here tonight, he seems like he's still in that good groove on that pitching rubber, getting to that balance point nicely and then exploding toward home.
He's retired all 6 batters since Roberts' RBI double in the 3rd.
John Shelby, the first base coach, did not even attempt to get that ball. That's not right. Jerry White would have had that in his back pocket. Come on, Mr. Shelby.
T-bone, what happened?
There's Jerry.
Got his hands on his hips. He's shaking his head saying, you got to show some lateral range just off the plate. 2-2. That's down the left field line, and Bernard Span chasing it.
Wow.
Oh, what a catch! And he ends up in the bullpen.
Get Span up.
Twins have been looking for some bullpen help, just not expecting it from their left fielder.
Watch out, Jesse Crane. Board, more or less.
Well, Michael Kadire will lead off the fifth. Twins haven't done much of anything against Chris Tillman yet. Kadire with a bouncer to short his first time up. And while Scott Baker's been getting most of his outs on fly balls, Tillman's been getting a lot of ground balls. Cut the plate in half, but it was low, I guess. 1-1. Kadire, Harris, and Gomez. Twins with just 2 singles. Drilled but foul.
Boy, he hung that breaking ball just like Kadire got in yesterday's 7th inning when he led off that inning with a home run. And then later in the inning, got another kind of off-speed pitch from Kyle Farnsworth.
One over the Twins bullpen, the other one over the Fountains. Now pitch up and a foul back, 1-2.
See, that's that pitch that Coomer was talking about right there, that last pitch to Kadire. That has to be tough as a hitter to lay off of because it's kind of like right in your eyes.
Foul back. Twins got the leadoff man on in the first and again in the second. And then Tillman got a couple of double play balls. We'll see what Kadire can do by getting aboard here in the fifth. Morrow with a nice pickup. Spins and fires. And on one hop, Kadire retired and he stumbles as it crosses the bag.
Yeah, nice defensive play right there by Melvin Morrow. And he utilized the turf right here to get the ball over to first base. Going to his right, getting up quickly, and then that one hop utilizing the turf to get it over to Albury for the quick out. So nice defensive play.
One down. Here's Brendan Harris. Harris with a fly ball to right his first time up. Sharply hit and into center field. So Harris gets a 1-out single for the Twins here in the fifth.
Yeah, third hit for the Twins. Harris just getting a fastball down and hitting it sharply. Up the middle, Ron Coomer, good hit by Harris.
It was, and the bottom line is when a guy has such great tilt and straight and good up to down, Birdie, tall guy, real high arm slot, you have to hit the top half of the ball, and you got to really work at staying on top. When the Twins are swinging and missing or fouling off, they're under every pitch. Good job by Harris getting on top.
And Gomez bumps it into the seats.
I remember Gomez in his last at bat, he got a breaking ball and just got underneath it to create that fly ball to left field. The hardest thing to do in any sport is hit a round ball with a round bat solid. And sometimes that ball comes at you about 94, 95 miles an hour.
One strike to Gomez. Check swing and a called strike. 0-2.
He went inside with a fastball. Tillman 2 walks in a ball game, no strikeouts so far. Has allowed 3 hits, all singles.
Nice block by Wieters. Gomez not having the year that he had last year, but of course he doesn't have the playing time either. But here we are. He's played 105 games now, and he has just 21 extra base hits, 3 homers, 5 triples, and 13 doubles. Be a good spot for a double right here. Instead, another ground ball and another Oriole double play. So the Twins get their 3rd hit, but the Orioles turn their 3rd double play.
At the top of the 6th inning at the Metrodome in the Minnesota Lottery Winners Circle with Connie and Robert from Anoka, who are here celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary. And they told me they grew up in northern Wisconsin. They were high school sweethearts. And you said the first time you walked down an aisle together was at your high school graduation.
That's right. That's right.
And now you made it 50 years of marriage. What's the secret?
Years, flexibility.
Flexibility,
Gotta be
communication, also talking to each other about the problems, whatever.
Not that you've had many problems, of course.
Not really.
Not really, no.
Well, whatever it is, you two have done it well. 50 years, congratulations. And Dick and Bert, they said they've been watching every game on TV. And Robert said he loves listening to Bert Blyleven and that other guy. Back to you guys.
What's wrong with him?
Great stop by Casilla, and he throws out Felix Pierre. We've seen Casilla go into the hole between the first baseman and the second baseman a half dozen times here in the last week.
That's a great play right there because Pia getting down that line very quickly. Casilla knows that. He's got to get up quickly, spin, and then make a throw over to Justin for a quick first out. Very nice defensive play. Both teams playing outstanding defense so far in this ballgame.
Difference is the Orioles got 2 hits in 1 inning and a run. And one of those hits, an extra base hit. One down in the 6th. Here's Brian Roberts, who got the extra base hit.
Well, Baker doing exactly what you have to do, and that's keep putting some zeros on the board. Hopefully your team can score you a couple runs.
1-1. Roberts got his 48th double of the year. It nearly bounced out in right center field, but stayed in the ballpark and allowed Aubrey to come around from first with 2 outs to score the only run of the game. Swing and a foul, 1-2.
Roberts, 31 years old. This is his 9th season with the Orioles. Orioles #1 pick back in 1999. He played his college ball out of University of Southern California.
Check swing. They'll appeal. Nope. Kind of an odd umpiring crew here in that Bruce Dreck, the second base umpire, was the home plate umpire yesterday against the Twins in Kansas City. There's Bruce. So he's jumped into this crew here and getting another close look at the Twins. Roberts strikes out number 2, and Baker's set down 9 men in a row.
And strikeout number 5 for Baker. Good fastball right there that Roberts could not lay off of.
And that'll bring up Pistorius.
Yeah, so Baker going up the ladder right there. And strikeout number 5. 75 pitches for Scott Baker. And like normal, very good strike to ball ratio.
Little roller to Morneau. He'll take it himself. Baker has his 3rd straight 1-2-3 inning. See if his teammates can give him some runs.
See Crane, where are you? Ouch. Good thing that wall is padded.
The Frost Road Coors Light freeze down. Now it's a 1-0 ball game. Spanel hit behind Casilla as the Twins have been stymied by Chris Tillman. He's gotten 3 double play grounders in 5 innings. He's got a 1-2-3 inning. And the Twins did leave 2 men aboard in the 3rd with 1st and 2nd and 2 down. He got Cabrera to foul out. Casilla drives it to center. Nobody home. It's going to go all the way to the wall. He's got 3. And the tying run is 90 feet away. Casilla's 2nd hit. And he spanked one all the way to the fence in center field.
Well, Felix Pia was really shading him toward left center. And Casilla got a fastball and hit it to right center. Pia going all the way to the warning track, and it's off to the races for Alexi Casilla. Still one of the most exciting things to watch is a triple. Casilla with his third triple, and he gets in at third base with nobody out.
They're going to appeal at second base to see if Casilla missed second base. And the third base umpire, Bill Hahn. Well, it's not Bill Hahn. Bill Hahn, where is he, over at first? At any rate, the third base umpire has that coverage, and with the second base umpire following the ball out in the outfield, Casilla is safe, and here's Span with the infield back here and nobody out. Pulled foul. Span with a single in the first and a walk in the third. Whenever the Twins have tried to give Tillman some trouble, he's gotten a double play ball. You'd like to think he'd could avoid a double play here, but Span swings and misses. It's 0-2.
Oh, good breaking ball right there. Again, Tillman, no strikeouts in the ball game. The Orioles are basically saying, hey, take the run. Because if Span can hit this ball just past the pitcher, Casilla should score. Off-speed pitch right there. Span way out front.
Span with a 3-run triple in the game yesterday to bring his RBI total to 50, looking for number 51. Outside, 1-2. That kicks away from the catcher, and Casilla will score. As big as he is, even Wieters couldn't block that one that bounced about 3-4 feet in front of the plate.
Well, a wild pitch will be charged to Tillman, his 4th wild pitch, and this being his 6th major league start. You see the breaking ball, and it kind of went up the right of Wieters, getting away from him, and Casilla scoring to tie the game at 1 apiece.
I'm not sure that Wieters even touched it. I think that ball hit the home plate umpire, Paul Emmel. 2-2 to Span. Bounced foul. So Casilla triples and scores, and we're even at 1. Just off the plate. Span with a very discerning eye has worked the count full. Cabrera to hit next for the Twins. And another foul. Tillman, one of 6 rookie starters the Orioles have run out there. All 6 of them won their debuts. They went 6-0, the 6 starters did. It's the first time that's happened in Major League Baseball since 1888. Three and 2 to Span. And a base hit to left. Span perfect tonight, 2 singles and a walk. That'll bring up Cabrera.
Well, Span not trying to do too much with that pitch. Outer half of the plate just goes with it. Good piece of hitting right there by Span.
Well, you talk about a well-constructed at bat. He fell behind 0-2, fouled off some pitches, worked the count full. Tillman left a pitch up. Span just drove it hard to the opposite field. I like what Matt Wieters said about this big deal the Orioles made about 6 starters each winning their major league debuts. It's the first time it happened since 1888. He says, well, back then, baseball was brand new. Everybody was debuting. And now Cabrera. Cabrera's had a couple of frustrating at-bats against Tillman. Ground ball double play in the first, then the 3-2 foul out with 2 runners aboard. Jabbed at it. It's a foul ball, 1 strike.
Well, Cabrera looks like asked to bunt right there. Does have 6 sacrifices on the year. The ball kept drifting outer half of the plate. Cabrera could not reach it.
Span can steal a base. We haven't seen the Twins attempt to steal yet, although Span, after he singled in the first, took off on the first pitch, and Cabrera lifted a foul fly into the seats as if it were a hit and run, perhaps.
Right.
Span goes and looks in, and same thing. Span was looking in. Cabrera got a pitch up and away and fouled it into the crowd again.
Well, not a bad play to try to put on. The game just tied at 1 apiece. They tried a little hit and run. It was Izturis, the shortstop, that was covering on that play, as Roberts, the second baseman, pretty much held his ground.
Two strikes to Cabrera. And a foul tip. Twins held off the board here until the 6th. First time they've had 2 hits in an inning. The Orioles have just 2 hits. They put them together in 1 inning to score their run. Now they're 0-2 to Cabrera. 1-2. Twins' stolen base percentage is right at 75%. 63 swipes and 21 throwouts. Span stays put. Cabrera checks his swing. 2-2.
Yeah, good take on that breaking ball right there by Orlando Cabrera.
Little bit high, and it's a full count. He didn't miss by much.
This is that spike curveball right here, and take a look at it.
Oh.
That's probably a strike.
See if Span goes here on 3-2. There he goes, and the pitch line to center field, a base hit. Span will go to third. So with Span taking off, Cabrera hit it right in the general direction of Izturis, just taller than Izturis.
Well, you know what? Good base running right there by Span, because Izturis leaped for it right here. Span taking off. I mean, he's got to keep going, because if Izturis catches that ball, he's out anyway. So instead of slowing down, Span just keeps going, and he makes it over to third. So very good base running by Span.
Credits the pitching coach coming out for the Orioles. Everything going along just fine through 5, but now the Twins with 3 straight hits greeting Tillman in the 6th. And activity now in the Baltimore bullpen. Mark Hendrickson, veteran left-hander.
Yeah, the only lefty out of that bullpen for the Orioles. Scott Baker says, give me some more. Twins have an opportunity to get some more here for Baker.
Mauer with a deep fly to center and a liner to short. He's put the barrel on it twice again tonight. Just doesn't have a hit to show for it yet. And his closest pursuer in the batting race, Ichiro, scratched from the Mariner lineup tonight with a calf injury. Down and away, ball one.
Must be a pretty good injury because Ichiro doesn't miss too many games.
No. Mariners hosting the A's. Big game on the West Coast tonight. The Tigers taking on the Angels. 2-0. Go ahead run 90 feet away. The Twins with 3 straight hits, entering the inning with just 3 hits on the night. And Mauer uncoils on 2-0.
I think he tried to hit a 3-run home run right there. That was the old I'm going to look for the fastball, and he just got underneath it. Tillman making his 6th major league start. He has yet to give up a home run, where he has given up at least 1 or more in all 5 previous starts. Missing with a changeup right there.
3-1 with Morneau on deck, and Hendrickson warming up in a hurry. Well, the Twins up until yesterday had wonderful results in the 6th inning of their games on the road trip. First game on the homestand and a promising start to this 6th inning. 3-2 to Mauer. Fans get into every at bat with Mauer, don't they?
They're throwing 2 fastballs by him. See if they go 3-2 fastball.
Foul tip, and Cabrera will go to second with Mauer striking out. And Wieters hanging on to the foul tip. The ball's still alive, of course, so Cabrera can complete his stolen base.
Tillman picking up his first strikeout. Now Wieters right here, he got the ball and then decided not to throw. He kind of at the last second. Maybe didn't get a good grip on that ball because Joe did get a piece of it. And you can see him almost double clutch, like, oh yeah, I forgot to throw.
Well, Morneau will be intentionally walked. And that'll bring Kubel up with the bases loaded. And we'll see whether Tillman is asked to get him or not. I would imagine Tillman would be the perfect guy for Dave Tremblay to have pitched to Kubel, just from the standpoint he's already got 3 ground ball double plays.
Well, plus this youngster's 21 years old. How are you going to learn to work out of these situations like this?
They're intentional. The intentional walk for him brings the pitch count up to 99, and here comes Dave Tremblay.
I disagree with this. I think you should let the youngster try to work his way out of this. That's how it's going to make him stronger.
Cabrera, Gomez, and Kubel each hit into double play grounders, but it'll be Hendrickson here. game. Time for the Quest high-speed pitch, brought to you by Quest high-speed internet.
Well, I like what I see from this youngster right there. Chris Tillman clocked at 94, his highest, as Scott Baker is. Tillman leads the ball game right here, 101 pitches. And now it's up to his bullpen to try to pick him up with bases loaded and 1 out. Mark Hendrickson, who started against the Twins earlier this year in Baltimore, now in the bullpen. He did make 7 starts for the Orioles. 4.58 ERA, 5 wins, 4 losses.
Jason Kubel has improved markedly against left-handed pitching. And he'll face Hendrickson for the first time here in a game-breaking situation. And Kubel takes a strike.
Hendrickson not overpowering, big breaking ball and a changeup. His fastball in the upper 80s. This guy is 6'9", about 240 in his first season with the Orioles.
1 strike to Kubel. High fastball, 2 strikes. For the first 3 months of the year, Jason's average against lefties sub 200, no power, at least recorded power against lefties, but now he's picked it up in the second half. His batting average against lefties 230 with a couple of home runs. There are his season numbers. Big pitch here on 0-2. Squirted behind third and foul. So the big 3 in the middle of the lineup. The left-handed batters. Mauer hitting .312 against lefties. Morneau hitting .314 against lefties. And now even Kubel's numbers against lefties improving. He's trying to break through here. They haven't had a lead yet tonight. 0-2 to Kubel. 1-2. Span, the lead runner. Cabrera at second. Morneau at first. 1-2 to the batter. To left field. Span setting up for a tag. He'll come in, and Kubel puts the Twins in front with a sacrifice fly.
RBI number 72 on the year for Jason Kubel.
Baker has a lead now, and just a matter of how much of a lead. Hendrickson is done, so the Orioles have 1 left-handed reliever, and he'll face 1 guy. It's in the 6th. Kubel gets the job done, and Dave Tremblay comes in to bring a righty to face Cuddyer. Twins have a lead now, 2-1. Porch for just $10.50 thanks to Pepsi. Call 800-33-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com and order your half-price tickets for next Tuesday night.
A new pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles, Clay Meredith, coming in the bullpen. New to the Orioles, traded over from the Padres back in the middle of July. Meredith with that sidearm delivery. Good sinking fastball. He'll throw a breaking ball from down there and a changeup. With the Padres, he made 35 relief appearances, 4-2 out of the bullpen.
Morrow with the pickup, long throw. Got him! Melvin Morrow with a great pickup and a long throw to get Kadire. The Twins get a couple to take a 2-1 lead.
Second time he's utilized that turf to get the ball over to first. They're from St. Paul, I was told.
Okay.
Big Twin fans.
Scott Baker now has a 1-run lead. He'll face Luke Scott, Nick Markakis, and Nolan Reimold. He's given them just 2 hits, and they both came in the 3rd inning when the Orioles got their run. One other base runner was erased on a stolen base attempt. Scott's hit a fly ball to right and a pop up to short. Now a base hit to center field to start the 7th inning. Dodge game summary with the Twins in front by a run.
Well, it was Brian Roberts that put the Orioles on the board with a double right there, RBI double. Casilla starting the 6th inning with a triple. A wild pitch scored him to tie the game at 1 apiece. Denard Span single, Orlando Cabrera single, and then a sacrifice fly off the bat of Jason Kubel later in the inning made it a 2-1 Twins lead.
Markakis has hit 2 ground balls to Justin Morneau at first. He takes a fastball on the outside corner.
Now that base hit by Scott that did stop that 10 straight outs retired from Scott Baker. Only 3 hits for the Orioles. A couple singles and that RBI double by Roberts.
Foul tip. 2 strikes. Popped up. And Morneau over for a look. But it's hit something up there, and it's eventually comes down. Had it come onto the field of play, it would not have been playable. course, after the 5th inning, the Twins took another number down. 20 games left. And the only thing pop-ups will hit at Target Field would be low-flying, low-hanging clouds. And inside, got a foul.
Yeah, good slider right there. That's the pitch that had been able to get Markakis a couple times. That ground ball out.
With Oriole batting coach Terry Crowley today, who of course was here with the Twins for a number of years, including the '91 World Championship season. Said he can't believe just 20 games left inside during the regular season. One of his favorite pupils at the plate right now, and Nick Markakis. 1-2.
Well, Baker's had 6 double plays turned behind him. This is 25th start of the year, so not much of a ground ball type pitcher in this situation.
Another 1-2. Baker might have hung one there. Right over the middle of the plate. Markakis fouled it back. To the bottom of the 7th at Fenway Park with the Red Sox leading the White Sox 9-7. Tight ball game here. Twins clinging to a 1-run lead. And another 1-2 to Markakis. 2-2. Twins were in Baltimore in early May and lost a short game 4-1.
That game there was 3 rain delays.
Yeah. 1-run loss the next day. 5-4. Popped up right side and Casilla calls for it. Markakis with a long at bat. And Baker gets him one away. And now Nolan Reimold. As it's turned out, it's going to be a pretty good rookie class in the American League this year. Nobody really jumped out in the first half. And now you've got Reimold. He's leading all rookie outfielders with 12 home runs, putting together a solid rookie season. Not much in the way of runs batted in, but a lot of that, of course, not his doing. Popped up. Casilla might get another chance. Gordon Beckham at third base for the White Sox.
Got 2 big outs right there for Scott Baker, both on pop-ups after the leadoff single by Luke Scott.
Wieters is a rookie. He comes to the plate now with a runner at first and 2 down. Elvis Andrus, the talented young shortstop for the Rangers. I think on just 6 pitches, Baker has struck him out twice, both times swinging. Down low a ball. Again, and it's 2-0.
Yeah, just missing low. Good couple good pitches right there by Baker. Just missing.
90th pitch of the night coming up. And Jose Majares is going to start warming up down on the Twins bullpen. At the knees. 2-1. With Melvin Mora on deck. It's the second 3-ball count in the first 3-ball count back in the first inning. Baker ended up walking Asturias.
See where Joe Mauer sets up right here, probably outer half of the plate.
Drilled to right. Wieters really spanks it hard off the base of the wall. Wieters will hold up with a single. And the lead runner, Scott, goes to third. So Wieters with a much better at bat there. And he hit that ball very hard off the base of the fence in right.
Well, the only reason is he got the count in his favor, and Baker going to go with a fastball, but leaves it right over the heart of the plate, and Wieters hitting this ball sharply. Great job by Kadire getting to this ball quickly. Scott is able to go from first to third, but Wieters looked like a double, and Kadire held him to a single.
Twins got a little bit of a break there. If they didn't, and Roberts double that bounced off the fence, stayed in the ballpark, allowed the Orioles to score a run there. If that ball had been hit a foot or two shorter and hit the warning track, then hit the wall, it would have bounced up in the air, and Wieters might have been able to take second base. But now Morrow will come up with 2 on and 2 out, tying run at third.
Pitching coach Rick Anderson going out to get Baker this one, maybe last out right here. Baker's pitch count at 92.
Morrow with a fly to right and a strikeout. And now Baker falls behind Morrow, 1-0. One and 0 to Melvin Morrow. Foul back.
Well, Morrow, one thing, I mean, you hope he makes an out right here, but he's helped keep this game at 2-1. And both the great plays coming off the bat of Michael Kadire, that coming in the 5th inning, and then to end the 6th inning. Off the bat again off Kadire.
1-1 to the veteran third baseman. Right to Morneau, sharply hit, and the inning is over. And Baker with 7 very good and strong innings here tonight. Minnesota Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is brought to you by McDonald's. I'm loving it. By Dodge. Live strong, live bold, live now. Dodge. Grab life. And by Aflac. We've got you under our wing.
All our Mountain Dew fans of the game, the Smiths family, right here, Smith family. You are hereby circled our Mountain Dew fans of the game.
And do you think that's a real name, or do you think they're just making that up?
No, and I met them before the ball game, and there is no Joe Smith in their family.
Okay.
They are the Smith family.
And you think that? Did you check ID at all?
No.
Okay.
Eric Curry introduced me to him, so I have to trust Eric Curry. I have to.
Brendan Harris will lead things off. And the Twins, leading by just a run, will send the bottom third of the lineup. Harris, Gomez, and Casilla up against Meredith. Down and in, a ball, 2-0. Scoring a couple of runs in the sixth when the inning started with 3 straight hits. Harris earlier delivered a sharp single to center, but then Tillman was able to get the third of his 3 ground ball double plays.
Meredith, 26 years old, originally signed by the Boston Red Sox out of Virginia Commonwealth University. Went over to San Diego, spent 3 seasons with the Padres before getting traded over on July 19th.
3-1 to Harris. Harris again getting the start for Joe Creedy, who didn't participate in much baseball activity today. So Harris gets the start. Might be playing third base for a while for the Twins. Nick Punto could slide over there as well if Creedy's unable to play for a couple of days. And Harris draws a walk, and he's aboard, leading off the 7th inning. The Twins get their leadoff man on for the 4th time in the ball game, and that'll bring up Gomez. Word coming today that Johan Santana, who was traded to the Mets for Gomez and others, his next start, he's been scratched from it with tender elbow. And it's not what the Mets are saying about it, it's what they're not saying about it that's a little ominous. They're not commenting on it. Certainly hope Johan's going to be okay.
Well, he's had a good year. He just hasn't had a lot of run support. So many injuries for the Mets this year. Gomez, I'm sure, asked to bunt again right here. Kind of bunted through a breaking ball.
Harris dives back to the bag. Gomez with a fly to left, and then he bounced into a double play in the 5th.
Chris Ray warming up in the Oriole bullpen.
Gomez drops down a bunt, and Mora on the fly. First, 1 down. Good sacrifice for Gomez with Harris taking second base.
Yeah, Gomez getting his 5th sacrifice of the year, doing his job right there. He should get high fives all around.
And that'll bring up Casilla, who has 2 hits tonight, including the triple that ignited the 6th inning rally. A long climb for Casilla, but his batting average is over 200, and he has played, to be honest, the type of baseball over the last 3-4 weeks the Twins were expecting him to play all year long. He seems to have rediscovered his game. 1-1. We've seen it offensively with the batting average coming up. We've seen it defensively with increased range, particularly to his left. 1-1 to Casilla. To left center field, and PA is there to catch the line drive. Casilla hit it right on the button for out number 2. Big news tonight at twinsbaseball.com. You can log on and check out the Wendy's All Metrodome Team medallion set that could only be purchased at twinsbaseball.com. The medallions feature the 18 members of the Wendy's All Metrodome Team, and there's only 5,000 sets available to the public. Check out the details tonight at twinsbaseball.com. I don't believe I've ever owned a medallion of you. You're on the All Metrodome team.
Yes.
So, I guess that means I have to get the whole set just to have a medallion of you, which I would wear around a gold chain around my neck.
I hope you have to pay for it, too.
Span will be walked. The Orioles want nothing to do with him. He's gotten 2 singles and 2 walks here. They've had better success against Cabrera, even though Cabrera singled his last time up.
Well, I think this too. A left-handed hitter, you get a force out at second base with 2 outs. And a pitching change coming in.
And Tremblay will bring Chris Ray in to face Orlando Cabrera. And the Twins leading by a run. Orlando Cabrera will hit with 2 on and 2 out here in the 7th inning against right-hander Chris Ray.
Yeah, Ray once a closer for the Orioles, making his 33rd relief appearance. 34 innings pitched. He's allowed 46 hits with 15 walks, 5 intentional with 31 strikeouts.
Cabrera hit a line drive single to center his last time up, and now a pop-up to short left. It's Asturis backpedaling. Left fielder comes in, and Reimold makes the catch. Ray gets the job done on 1 pitch. Two to one Twins going to the 8th inning now. The Twins going to their bullpen. 7 really good innings by Scott Baker.
Yeah, Baker outstanding 7 innings, allowed only 4 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. And now it's Jose Majaras asked to get out of the 8th inning, making his 51st relief appearance. And he has been lights out recently out of that bullpen. Very good 2.08 ERA.
Wigginton is going to hit for Michael Aubrey. And Wigginton takes a strike. Aubrey had gone 1 for 2, but Wigginton, a veteran right-handed hitter, Tremblay figures is a better matchup here against Majaras. Up high, and it's 1-1. Red Sox have opened up a 5-run lead going to the 8th inning against the White Sox. The White Sox started the day just 2 games ahead of the Twins. Chopper right side. Casilla has a head high hop. 1 away. 1 gone in the 8th. You can join the Twins Sunday afternoon to celebrate our diversity. A special day presented in part by McDonald's, great entertainment on the Quest Plaza, and special performances in the pregame show on the Metrodome Field. Celebrate our diversity as the Twins host Texas on Sunday. Tickets, call 833-TWINS or log on to twinsbaseball.com. 1 down in the 8th. And here is PA taking ball 1. PA's been swinging the bat well. He lined out his first time up and then hit a ground ball to Casilla. 1-1. Matt Guerrero warming up in the Twins pen. Another left-handed hitter, Brian Roberts, due up next. Orioles a little banged up. Adam Jones, their brilliant young outfielder, left the ball game yesterday with a bad back. So with PA hitting here, it might indicate that Jones simply is not available tonight. Two and 1. Foul back 2-2. An observer apparently tonight. Boy, you look at that trade and what it's meant already to the Orioles, what it's meant for the Mariners for that matter. Some people might have lost their jobs because of that trade. It's going to turn out to be a brilliant trade for the Baltimore Orioles. Swing and a miss. PA's gone, out number 2.
Majaras continues to get quick outs late in the ball game. Good fastball right here, just overpowering PA.
Every once in a while, a left-hander will get a hit. Roberts, of course, a switch hitter. Every once in a while, a left-hander will get a hit. But Majaras still just dominant against lefties, giving up just a 135 batting average to lefties. Strike 1.
Well, Roberts, a switch hitter, like you mentioned. Good hitter from both sides of the plate. Came into this ball game as a right-hander hitting .296 and a left-hander hitting .294. Only one of his 14 home runs coming from this side of the plate.
Weak little pop-up, and Casilla covers it for the catch. A quick 1-2-3 8th inning for Jose Majaras.
right, and coming up, we'll have 30 minutes of coverage in our Quest Twins live postgame show, including the Toyota postgame wrap. We'll look at the speed that the Twins have used tonight, going first to third. Alexi Garcia with his triple. Denard Span scored on a wild pitch. Denard Span tagged up. All that Twin speed tonight. Plus Ron Coomer on how the Twins hitters adjusted and started driving the ball after swinging at some of the high fastballs, getting underneath pitches, and Scott Baker, 7 solid innings. More to talk about tonight. Dick and Bert in our postgame show.
How good is Marnie? She got Ron Coomer and the word speed in the same sentence. Very nice. Joe Mauer hitless tonight, 1 strike. He is 0 for 3. Fairly deep fly ball in the first, a line out to the shortstop in the 4th, and then a strikeout in the 6th.
Well, Ray got the final out, getting Orlando Cabrera to pop up. He's coming off that Tommy John surgery that he had in August of 2007.
Inside, 2-1.
Back in 2006, Ray had 33 saves for the Orioles. Ty Wigginton staying in the ball game, taking over at first base.
2-1 to Mauer. 3-1. It seems as if, regarding the Tommy John surgery, the success rate for relief pitchers is a lot higher than it is for starting pitchers. Why that would be, I don't know. Ron Gardenhire mentioned that when Liriano comes back, if he comes back, nice pickup by Mora, and he throws Mauer out. Again, a hard ground ball, and Joe needs a chopper or a flare into an outfield spot to get a base hit, it seems. 1 away.
Well, we've seen Mora make some very nice plays at third base. This one here diving to his left and coming up quickly and throwing it all the way in the air over to Wigginton.
Over the weekend, Ron Gardenhire said that, hey, when Liriano comes back, if he comes back this year, it might be as a relief pitcher. But would you agree, not that there's a reason why necessarily, but it just seems like relief pitchers have an easier time coming back from that surgery than starting pitchers?
I don't understand it, only because Tommy John was a starter.
Will pop up to left field.
He didn't come back as a reliever. Came back as a starter.
2 down in the 8th. That'll bring up Kubel.
But it just seems like, every staff has at least 3 or 4 guys that have gone through the Tommy John surgery.
Troy Percival had it. He had a great career as a relief pitcher. Ray was a relief pitcher, and he's now trying to reconstruct his career after the reconstructive elbow surgery. Here's Kubel. Grounder to the right side. Good inning for Ray. He's faced 4 men, retired 4 batters. We'll go to the 9th in a tight 1-run ball game. That means it's time for Joe Nathan. TNT Rapid Rewind. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Cheap game reset with the Twins up by a run.
Yeah, 7 solid innings right there, all the way from North Dakota. Saw Scott Baker pitch 7 very good innings. Bernard Span, a run, couple singles. Lexi Garcia having a good night. And now it's up to Joe Nathan here to secure this 2-1, hopefully Twins victory, making his 21st appearance. He last worked on Friday when he threw 53 pitches in the 2 innings that he ended up pitching against the Kansas City Royals that night.
And now up high, 2-0. Just a wonderful moment with the Twins 1 out away from finishing off the ball game. The pitch count up. Ron Gardenhire coming to the top step of the dugout. Nathan just motioning the manager back in the dugout like, I got this one. I'll take care of it. He was ruled out for Saturday's game. Matt Guerrero got the save, and the score was such that Nathan was able to get a day off again yesterday. 2-1.
Yeah, Nathan ended up getting the win on Friday night in that 5-4 10-inning win. His second win of the year.
Foul with Morneau guarding the line, 2-2.
First appearance this year for Nathan against the Orioles over his career. He's 2-0 with 9 career saves against the Orioles. 15 innings pitched. He's allowed only 7 hits and 1 run.
Izturis 1 for 2 against Nathan, a single and a strikeout. Pulled the string on him, and Izturis got a piece. It'll be Izturis, Scott, and Markakis facing Nathan here in the 9th. Three and 2. Nathan was 1 strike away from finishing off the save in Kansas City. Brian Pena cranked one over the wall and right to tie it. Twins scored a run. Nathan ended up with the win Friday in Kansas City. Another one hooked foul. And Izturis has hit a couple of sharp foul balls against Nathan, and Mauer will go to the mound.
Nathan has worked 48 2/3 innings. He's allowed only 30 hits. 11 walks, 1 intentional, with 62 strikeouts in the 48 2/3 innings. Third in the American League in saves with 31 behind Rivera and Fuentes.
Big strikeout for the first out of the inning. Izturis has gone 1 away.
Well, it looked like Izturis was very quick inside. They went with a fastball outer half of the plate. And Izturis just swinging underneath it.
1 gone, and here's Luke Scott. Scott singled leading off the 7th, got as far as third base in the 7th inning. Drops a breaking ball on him, 1 strike.
A good hard breaking ball there. Scott leading the Orioles with 20 home runs. Good hard breaking ball. Scott could not hold up.
Now Nathan with a good enough fastball. We see that a lot. A lot of hitters start their swings early to.
Oh, you must have very tight rotation on that breaking
ball. 2 strikes to Luke Scott. Same swing, same pitch. And on 3 breaking balls, Nathan strikes out Scott.
Well, again, the tightness on that slider. As a hitter, I'm sure you're looking fastball and then you react and you just cannot hold up. Scott twice. Almost check swings. Ends up striking out. 2 outs here for Nathan and the Twins.
Markakis last hope for the Orioles. In the top of the 9th at Fenway Park with the Red Sox leading the White Sox 12-8. And the Tigers leading the Angels early on 1-0 in the 2nd inning in Anaheim. Twins trying to tighten things up. It could be just a game behind 2nd place Chicago by night's end. 1-0 to Markakis. A Luke Scott swing there.
That was that hard breaking ball right there. I'm sure Markakis looking fastball. And Joe able to drop that breaking ball in on him.
Outfield, of course, playing very deeply. Morneau guarding the line at first. Harris off the line a little bit at third. Very high and away. It's 3-1 with Reimold on deck. Nathan to Markakis. My goodness.
They went again. Yep.
Markakis went to first, claiming he'd been hit by the pitch, or ball 4, I guess.
I think he didn't think he went. Again, that hard breaking ball. Markakis not able to hold up.
So the Orioles down to their last swing.
You'd almost guess that hard slider again here on 3-2.
Missed with a fastball. Markakis does go to first. That'll bring up Reimold. Reimold, of course, never faced Nathan. And he's a right-handed batter. Well, the Orioles haven't put a ball in play here, but they've got the tying run at first with 2 away. Reimold with a strikeout and a couple of infield pop-ups. All of that against Scott Baker. Pulled, foul, 1 strike, and now, of course, it's the third baseman guarding the line.
Right.
Morneau holding the runner at first.
Yeah, no extra base hits in this situation, so Harris guarding the line. Outfield again, staying deep. Keep the ball in front of you if you can.
One strike to Reimold. Check swing, 1-1. A little over 20,000 to paid attendance tonight. One and one to the Baltimore left fielder. That breaking ball is awkward as the swings were from the left side of the plate. Reimold didn't have a good one there either.
Boy, the rotation on that's the only thing you can come up with. It looks like a fastball, and then it's almost like a little cutter.
1-2. Nathan's been throwing primarily that slider or cutter. Two and two. Full count. The runner will take off, and Matt Wieters is in the on-deck circle.
Yeah, good take right there by Reimold. Laying off that pitch. It just started low and stayed low.
Markakis will take off early. Ball four. A pair of strikeouts, now a pair of walks. And Wieters will have an at-bat against Nathan for the first time.
Well, 23 pitches for Nathan. And pitching coach Rick Anderson coming out, just give him a breather right here.
Nathan issuing just his 12th and 13th walks of the year. Ordinarily so good with his control, and he's struggled with it here, particularly with control of the fastball.
That's the first time this year he has walked two batters in an inning. He did walk two back against the Yankees in New York, but one of those was an intentional walk.
So Wieters, who singled sharply off the fence in right his last time up, before or after striking out twice against Scott Baker.
Got that on a 3-1 fastball. Nathan needs to get ahead in the count right here. It's strike one.
Just is having a hard time throwing the fastball over the plate. Pitching coach pacing. This is Nathan's 25th pitch. There's a fastball for a strike.
Yeah, flipping the outer half of the plate.
He might be pacing at home.
I think there's somebody right now pacing in the back of their couch, back and forth.
Fouled away, and it's 1-2. So Nathan has thrown nothing but fastballs here to Wieters. We've seen some pretty awkward half swings from some left-handed batters this inning. Maybe Nathan can put him away with a breaking ball.
That's a well-played game by both teams right here. Twins holding on to that 2-1 lead.
One and two to the Baltimore catcher. Smothered by Maurer, and it's 2-2. Remember that the count was 1-2 to Reimold, and Nathan lost him to a walk. Last pitch, another fastball, wasn't it?
That was a little cutter.
It was down and in. Okay.
Try that cutter again, down and in. Nathan stepping off. Joe Maurer will go through a new set of signs.
Two and two. Full counts with Melvin Mora on deck, and again the runners will take off early.
Well, they tried going fastball in, and Nathan missed inside.
So Markakis from second, Reimold from first. We'll get early breaks on this 3-2 pitch. Got him!
Yeah, there's that good one. Good cutter. Saved it for the last one. Way to make it exciting, Joe Nathan. He struck out the side.
The manager, the pitching coach can stop pacing. You at home can stop pacing. Yep. Even Anthony LaPanta can stop pacing. The Twins win a nail biter 2-1.
We don't have room to pace out here.